Welcome back to our series as we talk about all of the texting changes going on in the industry. So let's just jump right into the next question. Michael, you ready?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So why should the average pastor, leader in the church, more than average, superb leader in the church, care about all of these changes with local 10-digit phone numbers?
Yeah. So why should you care about the changes with what's happening in the texting industry, moving 10-digit numbers to A2P 10DLC? If you're just jumping in right now, I would definitely encourage you, pause this video, go to one that will stick up in one of these corners, wherever my finger's pointing.
Maybe down.
But that'll be a video before, and we kind of explain what A2P 10DLC is and kind of get up to speed. But why should you care of what's happening in the industry as a whole right now? But specifically, if you're a pastor of a church or just working in a church and your church is doing texting, why should you care about what's changing with A2P 10DLC? And I would say the biggest reason is message deliverability. By far the biggest reason. If you're using 10-digit phone numbers right now, likely your message deliverability is lower than probably what you realize. There's probably a good number of people that aren't getting your message. And that's just because current phone numbers, current 10-digit numbers are classified with carriers on their basically what's called their P2P network, their person-to-person network. So 10-digit phone numbers historically and currently are meant for just one-on-one texting, not one-to-many people. Okay, that would be considered an A2P number, right? So short codes like 5-digit numbers are A2P numbers. They're application to person. So you're using application, you're sending out to maybe one person, but you're sending out to hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands.
Right. You can still two-way text with an A2P number, right?
Yeah. And short codes. At least with ClearStream, you can always do two-way texting. But I would say, it's good to consider what's happening with A2P and make sure that, whatever you're using, whatever software you're using for your church for text communication, if you're using a 10-digit local phone number, make sure that you're moving over in the coming months to an A2P number. And the primary reason is your message deliverability. Already, message deliverability is not good on current 10-digit numbers, but carriers have made very clear, and they continue to send us, all of us application providers in the industry, warning after warning saying, hey, very soon, now this date keeps on getting pushed back currently, like we're filming this video in August, the new date is September 30th, right? So by September 30th, if your current phone number is not registered as an A2P, you're going to experience even heavier filtering and blocking from the carriers. That's the most recent, as of like last week, information that we've received from the carriers. And so at some point in the future, it might get delayed again because it's gotten delayed many times over the past year. It might be the end of September, it could be next year, but your 10-digit number, if it's not A2P, if it's not classified as A2P and re-registered with the carriers as an A2P number, an application to person, the biggest thing is message deliverability. And so that matters when you're trying to send out a message for an event, or you're trying to send out a message on a Wednesday saying, hey, how can we pray for you? And it might be 30% deliverability, and you wouldn't know that. It's very possible that you wouldn't even know that. You might just have people coming up and being like, hey, I didn't receive a text. And you have to go kind of backtrack and see what's going on. So
outside of message deliverability, which is obviously one of the most important features for churches, what are the other benefits of having like an A2P 10DLC number? Like, what about this special category of this 10-digit number is so much more efficient overall, just as a corporation in regards to the texting companies? Why smaller churches, it may not affect them as much, but especially with larger churches, what is the benefit of really embracing this new category of phone numbers and going ahead and upgrading to that?
Yeah, I would say if you're a larger church, or if you're a church that's doing a lot of texting, still the best option, and it will probably always be this way, the best option is short codes, 5-digit numbers. Those have the highest deliverability, by far, in a way, the highest throughput. I don't ever foresee a time coming where Even A2P numbers will have the deliverability and throughput that short codes do. But if you're an average size church and you're not using a short code, an A2P number is going to give you, again, improved deliverability. I would, again, just to kind of reiterate.
Extra important.
Yes, kind of beat the dead horse, so to speak. When you're trying to communicate with a large group of people or with all of your members and you want to say something in a timely manner and you want everyone to read it, you want to make sure that everyone's actually getting the message and it's not being blocked by the carriers. You're not being filtered by the third-party companies that carriers use to audit and filter messages going through their networks. And we can get into kind of the stack between like your church and delivering a message, like who are all the kind of organizations where that message goes through. We could talk about that later. But deliverability and message throughput. So currently, if you're using a 10-digit number, your message throughput is 1 message per second. If you're using a toll-free, it might be a little bit higher. It might be 3 messages per second, or if you're lucky, you might be maybe 10 messages per second. But likely, if you're using a 10-digit phone number and it's not an A2P number, it's a P2P current local phone number, that's 1 message per second. Regardless, there's no getting around that. That's what it is for all carriers. So deliverability and throughput. So with A2P numbers, it is going to be higher throughput, but that's going to be determined based on kind of how your organization is vetted with carriers and with what's called the campaign registry. So all 10DLC, A2P 10DLC numbers go through an organization called the campaign registry, or we could call it TCR, right? And so that's who kind of manages all 10-digit numbers, and they work with carriers. And so any organization that is wanting to utilize 10DLC or A2P 10DLC or being forced to utilize A2P 10DLC because of these carrier changes, they're going to have to register their organization through, basically register their organization, and the campaign registry is going to give your church what's called a trust score. And so all that means is that, that you're a legitimate organization and that the information that you're giving them matches third-party data that they're kind of mirroring or measuring it against. You'll get a high trust score. And so that trust score is going to be one of the primary determining factors of your message throughput. So we're getting really deep into some pretty boring weeds, but probably a lot of you or some of you may really care about this. And so we can get deeper into those weeds maybe in the next couple of videos.
Yes.
But I would say the biggest benefits of registering A2P or registering your current phone number as an A2P number is message deliverability and message throughput. Your throughput's not going to be even close to what you would get on a short code, but it will be much better than, in most cases, it's going to be better than your 1 message per second throughput that you're getting right now. So if you're sending a message to 1,000 people,
right,
it's taking 1,000 seconds. You may not know that, but it's taking 1,000 seconds. And you're going to get some faster throughput with A2P.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed, please know that we are here, especially Clearstream in our company. We are here to walk you through all of the changes. It's really not as difficult as you think. And we will be creating these videos to help you along the way. This is for your benefit, for your church, for your congregation. All of these changes are really good changes. I know there's a lot of technical jargon, but it's all for your benefit. And we are here to help you all the way through it. But before we end this video, I did want to talk about the risks of staying with your 10-digit local number currently. If you're watching this video and you're like, I don't know if I want to upgrade, what are the problems if you do end up staying with a P2P number?
Yeah. I think like we mentioned in the beginning of the video, the two are really the primary risk with using a P2P number in the future is going to be your messages aren't going to be delivered. You're going to have a very, very low deliverability. And carriers are very clear about that, unfortunately, and we get that information from them pretty regularly with all the changes happening. We hear from carriers on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, and they're very clear that once the process of moving to A2P 10DLC, which has been a bear and a nightmare together, once that process is kind of buttoned up, and we're getting close to it, I think in the next 6 months it's very possible. then at that point, the carrier filtering and the deliverability, carrier's very clear. Like, we are not going to support any kind of mass deliverability or mass texting on a P2P number.
You know, when you're hiking and you see a sign on your trail that says dead end, turn around, this is our warning to you. Go ahead and think about registering your phone number. We are going to be here with you every single step of the way. We're going to have more videos to come, so don't stress, but stay tuned and we'll see you really soon.
Thanks.